What's up, guys? Running it back with another replay for y'all. It's gonna be another Beastmen versus Dark Elves showdown. I've definitely showcased this matchup before, but these are two very different builds from the last one that I showed off, and I really wanted to showcase a little unit that I think has vastly improved since the recent patch, which is the Razorgore Chariots. Not to say that Chariots have not been impactful, but I do think that some of the mechanics of the game for the launch of Warhammer 3 mitigated the effectiveness of units like this quite a bit. I have been experimenting a little bit with them, and I find that some perform admirably while others don't, but ones that have really high mass seem to be absolutely ridiculous right now. Not unstoppable, but certainly incredibly powerful units, so I want to just show off this particular replay for what they can do. So my opponent's gone pretty wide with the Dark Elf build, bringing out a Feral Manicore for the first summon. Malice here with a Fire Sorceress, very good choice. Burning Head and Flamestorm, which is an interesting choice, but Flamestorm is really good at clearing out chaff, and it sticks on the battlefield for a really long time. It can definitely deny an area to your opponent. So, pretty good choice. Lots of Black Arc Corsairs, some handbows, and then just a bunch of the dual sword variant. Very good at clearing out the chaff. I'm going to definitely need the Razorgores and the Butchers of Kalkengard to do a lot of heavy lifting here. I do have the Wilds Caster, but I've got Viletide and Brayscream here rather than the Traderkin. Traderkin is probably just flat out the best choice. Absolutely huge damage on this Razorgore charge. I mean, I was pretty stunned to see it happen, but back to the caster. Viletide, obviously the best choice, but Brayscream and Viletide can definitely net you some good value if you cast it on the right targets. Brayscream can certainly do good work against Corsairs, and Viletide very good against Dread Spears and the like. So it's really kicking off here. The Razorgore Chariots have absolutely flattened this Black Arc unit, taking them down to half health, trashing this other one as well. Another half health unit, just absolutely obliterated in the blink of an eye. And this Black Arc Corsair unit getting run over by the Butchers of Kalkengard, who are now getting on the handbows back here, which is a nice position for them to be in. But the Ungors are wavering, which is a little less good for me. I do need some cover for the Butchers. They do have very low armor, and while they will do really absurd amounts of damage to the Black Arcs, these guys can hit back pretty effectively against these rampaging bulls. Elsewhere on the battlefield, I've done a pretty good job of clearing out the Black Arc Corsairs so far. Really punishing the lack of shields on these guys with the Centaurs over here, who are just tossing in some axes, running them over with the Great Shaman as well, who's gotten some decent value so far. But my infantry corps, in return, has also gotten beaten up. These Ungors in a pretty scary position. My Destroyers of Drakwold are fighting this low Black Arc unit, but will lose that combat. The Black Arcs are just far and away better fighters, although the Destroyers of Drakwold are pretty capable in their own right. One of the more cost-effective Beastmen infantry units. Amazing Burning Head coming in here. Had to just slow down the battle. There's so much going on. Roasting the Gore Herd, Ungor Raiders, and about to hit this other Ungor Raider unit. Really doing amazing damage. My opponents really punished my archers. The Flamestorm came in and absolutely deleted this Ungor Raider unit here, and he's really grinded the value back here. I was up pretty significantly, but now I am starting to really fall behind. But I have managed to rampage the Feral Manticore into the Spears here. And the Ungor Spears are going to really do some good work against this Feral Manticore. And their leadership's holding well enough that they're not going to tear her out anytime soon. They're going to be able to get some good pokes in on this guy. Really low armor on this unit. Just working that guy down. And the Butchers and Centaurs collapse in on these Black Arc handbows, doing a lot of damage. Losing a good bit of health on these Centaurs, though, but able to pull out there and trying to pull my Razorgores through. They've already pretty much gotten their value back, but they are stuck on these Cold One Knights, which is a very bad spot for them to be in. You can see how quickly they can get worked down by a proper counter unit. But I am able to rally 3 of the chariots. They've got about 1,900 HP left. They are going to pull away from Malice. Gonna just let my opponent kind of cap here and rally up what I can. Butchers intercepting Malice here. The Great Shaman was trying to get a good charge on the Hellebroni, but not gonna happen. Good Vile Tide going in there. You can see it does pretty good damage on the explosion. About 700 value on this guy, just providing some good support. The Cold One Knights come in, and they get immediately countercharged by Razor Gores. Razor Gores are amazing against cav units like this. The model counts are pretty similar, and the charge bonus on these guys is just absolutely obscene with insanely high weapon strength. So on the charge, these Razor Gores very heavily outtrade the Cold One Knights. Obviously, a long sustained fight, the Cold One Knights win, but you know, with some supporting fire here from the Ungor Raiders, it is really going poorly for them. Finally grinding back a bit of a value lead. This match is just going so quickly here. Just crazy back and forth plays so far. And Malice sitting in here in the pit. He's already flipped out to the Zarkan. So gonna sit in here, doing good damage against the Razor Gores, who have not quite gotten their value, but did a good job of blocking up these very expensive knights and giving the Ungors an opportunity to get some value there. Unfortunately, Burning Head coming in here does break one of the Ungor Raiders, but this unit sitting here pretty healthy. Gonna start firing in against the Sorceress here. So, not too bad of a position. The Butchers of Kalkengard, they are getting dove by the Crows of Cain, but this is a bit of an overextension from them. I'm going to drop a Vile Tide here, and the Razor Gore Chariots, man, they are excellent at clearing out Harpy-type units. The Crows of Cain getting absolutely mauled right here by these Chariots, getting 1,300 value on them, which is nice, and going to just stick in here and fight against the Dark Riders, who now don't have the cover of their Furies. Looking around the rest of the battlefield, I am holding the number 3 objective, and the middle objective, and the number 1, where my opponent does not really have any presence, and I'm bringing out some Pestigores just across the battlefield now. Did bank quite a few resources, and gonna bring in my second wave of infantry reinforcements. A pretty healthy unit of Black Art Corsair handbows broke over here. I can't remember what exactly did it. I think they just got rear charged at the wrong time. Their leadership broke, and now I'm just chasing them down with some very tattered infantry units, which is a very, very valuable trade for me. Trying to rally in my Ungor Raider archers back here. They've been sitting idle for a bit. I didn't realize that they had rallied. This one, very low as well. Gonna need to do a little bit of mopping up on my units. The poor Firecaster here has been surrounded by the Razor Gore herd, who did rally from getting beat on by Malice here, who is fighting the Butchers of Kalkengard and doing good damage against them. But these guys are hitting back pretty hard, and I am getting some really nice overlapping fire from the Centigores with throwing axes, who have both earned their keep so far. And these Razor Gores paid for themselves, and they still have a little bit of room. I mean, 700 HP is not a terrible amount on those Chariots. They're certainly going to get at least one more good charge in here. They've got pretty good leadership for a Beastman unit. 70 is really not that bad, and they do get, your units do get extra charge leadership. They get leadership on the charge, I'm trying to say. So just pulling out back here for a moment, gonna give them the order to swing through and hit these Black Art Corsairs in the back. They are very good against the Pestigores, but the Pestigores do trade decently even, and with this fat charge coming in here from the Pig Chariots, it's gonna be an absolute massacre. You can see just how quickly these things do the damage that they can. Absolutely flattening this unit from the rear, just dropping the leadership like crazy. A brace screen comes in, and they come back through and just absolutely toss these guys around. And the Black Art Corsairs are probably, yeah, they are breaking now. And a Vile Tide coming in on the Crows of Cain. They are trying to rear charge, doing a bit of work, not killing any models, unfortunately. Off back in the pit fight in the middle. I'm just trying to feed units one at a time against Zarkan here, who is dissipating out. He has killed most of the Butchers of Kalkengard here, but they did get some good value. And the Centaurs of Throwing Axes, absolutely insane value on these guys. They were getting some great work against this pretty scary lord. Just charging in and out, and have pinned him in, and he is gone. On the rest of the battlefield, my opponent really just doesn't have anything.
Unending glory is yours.
Razor Gores with some Pestigores intercepted another Dark Arc unit, and that's going to be game. Really well played to my opponent. He unfortunately just didn't have any answer to the Razor Gores. And the unit that he brought out to counter them, the Cold One Knights, got really good damage on them, but wasn't quite able to finish them. And they were able to rally there and make some plays in the late game, getting some extra value and helping me secure some objectives. So yeah, just going to show off the value here. Really good across the board. This Ungor Raider did amazing. Able to survive all the other ones didn't really do much. They just got absolutely obliterated by the magic. This one managed to just kind of squeak away and stay alive and get some good fire in. So yeah, the Shaman of Wild, he did pretty good. Nothing crazy. Traderkin would have been obvious. Like I said, Traderkin is by far the best spell in his toolkit. But there's some options you can do to bring some different stuff and still get some really good benefit out of him. Throwing Axes did great as well. Pestigores were good in the late game, helping me block up my opponent and do some damage to his reinforcements, while the Razor Gores traded pretty favorably across the board. So yeah, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed. GG's. Peace.